been persecuted for the past 8 years. I'm living in this squalor that you're looking at in the background, having come from a thriving career once upon a time with my own beautiful large apartments, and now I am living in some wooden shack at the back of my mom's house at the age of 37. It gets worse. My living conditions are bad on their own. Story gets worse because nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Literally, I could be a total cliche singing that song. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I'm gonna eat some worm. Big fat juicy ones, creamy ones, tasty ones. I'm gonna eat some worms. I did that song, I would qualify to do those worm eating mukbang on TikTok, because literally no one loves me. It's not a sob story. No one cares about me. No one regards my life, the sanctity of it, the sacredcy of it. I sometimes believe that if I were to breathe my last today, like die, people would feel kind of exhausted to like just attend my funeral, let alone even cry. That is the level of hatred I've endured. Also apathy, just a very cavalier constitution about people.
Hello, please like, please comment, please share and share and share and share, and then please subscribe. Thanks.
If his friends did not turn his back on him, jealous of him at the time when his career was thriving, did not make a decision to take jealousy, run with it until he was homeless, he would not have found himself in this position. It's written in God's word that anger is overwhelming and fury is a flood, but who can stand before jealousy? Because of jealousy, you watch people lose their homes. No, not homes, sorry. You watch them lose their jobs today, despite being very skilled on their curriculum vitae. And then because they struggle to get a job after 5 months, their houses get foreclosed. And with whatever savings they have, they live in a hotel. My cousin spoke about how it is that guy got kicked out of the hotel that he was staying in because he wasn't paying. So this man finds himself living in a bed and breakfast or whatever. Gets kicked out, and that's how the guy finds himself living on the street. Tries to apply for a homeless shelter, all clogged up and closed, especially considering it's winter. Guy sleeps in a stadium. A man that had his own comfortable bed and water to drink, clean water, a bath to use, kids that even call him daddy, is now living on the street. Hey, are you feeling reached by my content on YouTube? If so, you might be interested in checking out my tweets as well, alongside reading my content on my WordPress account, alongside checking out my shorts on TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Please enjoy the next coming content. Bye. I cannot decide to feed an audience that is gunning for a watered down version of Jesus, or even talk about things that are not related to Christianity, because I am a gospel servant. It's all I am, especially considering I'm persecuted. So because I'm undergoing persecution, I want to share my struggle as a persecuted Christian. There are not a lot of people online sharing their journeys as persecuted Christians, because when you're persecuted, you tend to not even have access to the internet. Your life tends to be covered by other people looking onto your persecution as opposed to you being the one to record it yourself. So I imagined I have a new brand spanking market, a brand spanking new market, where I don't even have anything trending on this particular topic, precisely because nobody is covering it right now. I've been wanting to gain solace and comfort from other persecuted Christians in this world who are going through it and are showing you real time going through it, as opposed to getting a testimony from somebody who was already delivered, and so they're looking back at their persecution and telling it to an audience, and that's what their channel is about. I'm actually recording live persecution, like it's currently happening. I don't find people like that. I can't find them. I've researched, I've put in the keywords on YouTube, I've put them in, and like literally a day in the life of a persecuted Christian, like I've been looking for them and I'm not finding them. But I am persecuted, so I imagine that we need like some sort of a comfort group, like, you know, what do they call them? Like a support group. We need a support group, like persecuted Christians across the world that are still struggling, who don't yet have their breakthrough. We don't have sufficient enough support groups of people who are also going through the same thing. The level of apathy by the world over us. The fact that people treat us like our skills ain't jack, our talents ain't jack, our beauty ain't jack, our strandedness ain't concerning. The fact that our lives are being left to languish with no avenue of escape. There's no one covering this. The ability to kumbaya, you know, misery loves company. The fact that if I was to be found by someone in my exact shoes, they're still going through it, they would know what it feels like to be completely ignored despite being good, like to be overlooked despite being good, like you know what you were prior to persecution, and you know what Christ has given you as a suite of talentedness and giftedness, and people are deliberately acting like it ain't jack. I am smart, guys. I'm intelligent, like in the worst way. And I still am. I'm sharp. I'm on my feet. Like that. There is a market for stuff like that. Alright, man. It would be a lie to say that there isn't. But every last one of my friends and family members, my ecosystem, people who know how gifted I am, are acting like I'm a boring, lethargic, like, oh goodness, like, send me to bed already, graveyard shift, been there, done that, said it all kind of person. I am covering the outworking of witchcraft, what it looks like, the fact that African culture is so rife with sorcery, the dreams I get concerning what God shows me because of all of this witchcraft. I am communicating what it looks like when it's manifested. I am showing you the life of a struggling person because they've been afflicted by spells from all different kinds of jealous freaks around their lives. This is the kind of stuff that people need to see. It's the kind of stuff that people need to hear. It is the kind of stuff that people need to find solace and comfort concerning. When people are hitting brick walls and they don't know why. Like just yesterday they were doing really well, thriving in their careers. Now no one will even interview them. Like I am able to give comfort to a person going through that. It's weird, it's freaky, it's otherworldly, it's frankly like a horror movie, and I'm living it. And I'm pretty certain I'm not the only one living it. Meaning there is a market for my kind of struggle. So to be then one who is innovating a search criteria, new keywords, is to essentially, potentially, start a new trend on YouTube. Start a brand spanking new keyword search that's going to be woo. And so people are going to start coming with videos of that nature, recording their persecutions, recording their this, recording witchcraft in action, recording like whatever it is that I have to offer. I feel like I've got something to touch on. I don't have the luxury to bandwagon on existing trends because I'm covering a particular thing right now. I'm not coming to YouTube just because I want to make money. I'm coming here because I'm trying to create awareness about Christian persecution in the world and what it looks like outworked. So I can't just be like, what's trending on YouTube and run with it. Makeup, tats, face beats, no, I don't care for face beats. I don't care for this and that. At least at present, I love hair. Anything, because I like to do my hair and whatnot. It has its time and its season, and every so often in my content, I do hair content, but it is once in a blue moon in my content. So that's not going to be the kind of stuff that is going to get me seen. If I'm doing one little video, my channel is not about hair. It's about Christian persecution. So I don't have the luxury to follow after keywords and trends. Does that then mean that I am not worth the while of being heard? Are you going to tell me no one in the world is going through what I'm going through right now? Are you going to tell me I'm literally Storksila Leon, the only person undergoing this level of persecution harassment? Are you going to tell me that I'm the only victim of so much jealousy from her own ecosystem that people would deliberately pretend I'm not smart, pretend I'm not beautiful, pretend I'm not worth a while to hear, pretend I don't have a unique value proposition, pretend I don't have a competitive advantage? Are you going to tell me I'm the only person in the world whose skills, whose giftedness, and whose talentedness is so intimidating and so scary to people in their environment that they would deliberately act like that there is no skill? Act like that there is no skill, like there is no talent, like there is no anything at all to pay attention to in this person. Are you gonna tell me I'm the only person in the world who is suffering from so much jealousy that people are deliberately pretending they are not intelligent, smart, beautiful, gifted, or anything at all that you could be, that you have to bring to the table? Of course not. Of course not. So I am trying to show that I am as skilled, as gifted, as talented, and as growing increasingly in all of these things on the daily. And yet, nonetheless, I'm not being heard or watched, and so therefore, there is obviously something wrong. I want people to find comfort in the fact that they're not alone. They're not alone. They're not alone. And here it is, that I'm sitting here where I'm smart, but it doesn't matter. Yo, guys, the pain, the sorrow. I'm intelligent, but it doesn't matter. I'm funny, but it doesn't matter. I'm this, but it doesn't. What creates suicide ideation in a person more than the world looking at them like nothing at all that you were born to do is worth the while for me to consume? What pushes a person over the precipice more than the belief that there's more where they came from and there's nothing unique about them that would make somebody look at them and be like, I like that. I'm a woman and I have needs, I have desires. I long to be loved by a man. And for every man that comes into my life and then just walk right by me like I'm not a great find, I've been getting chiseled and refined by Jesus for very many years. 11 to be exact. I've been chased for 11 years, persecuted for 8. And in that time, God has really refined a godly woman in me, a really strong warrior. I would imagine that I am a cut above the rest. To a certain extent, I'm quite unique. I'm rare. I've been made rare by Jesus. I've been made very different by him. And yet every man that comes into my life just walks right by me. Like, I can find another godly girl, Karabo. I can find, when the Bible makes it clear that narrow is the road that leads to life and few there be that find it. So, I mean, by mere virtue of having found Jesus, I'm already rare. But then when Christ also over and above saving you, refines you and makes you super consecrated, then you are sanctified over and above being rare. You are different. You are a cut. You are pristine. You're a diamond man. And then men treat me like, I'll find another one, man. I suga, whatever. It is so painful. It's so painful. Which is why this discussion with the prodigal son, this whole Ruth at the threshing floor thing, I loathe it. I hate it with every bone in my body. I can't stand it. I can't stand it, because it's like, how in the world are men so blind as to not recognize the glory of a woman when she's been refined by God? I am more than just a pretty face if I have one. I am more than just a beautiful body if I have one. I am more than just intelligent, because that I know for a fact I've got going down. I am more than just well written and well spoken. I am also really godly. That many women have done excellently. Many women are beautiful. Many women are intelligent. Many women are good writers. Many women are great orators. They speak well. Many women have got great bodies and faces and good hair. Many women have done excellently. But when you're born again in the Lord Jesus Christ, you're refined, you are sanctified, you surpass them all. So I am literally a combination of things over and above it with a cherry on top. I am great because I'm godly, not even because I'm intelligent or whatever. And precisely because I am godly, I am using my intelligence, my beauty, my writtenness, my well-writtenness, my oratory, my gifts of oratory, my speech, my articulation for the glory of God. I am determining to use my giftedness for Jesus. Everything I do is about Christ. Go to Twitter, all my tweets are Christian. Go to my WordPress account, it's a Christian blog. Go anywhere. Recently I was on Facebook, I left there because, I dusted my feet off that environment, but all of my posts, godly, they were about Jesus. And now on YouTube, I have a Christian channel. I am using everything that God gave me for him. So therefore I surpass them all. I do. I ought to be. And people are just gliding right by all of that and acting as if though I'm not intelligent. So back in the day, they thought I was smart and they gave me credit for it. Now that I'm using my intelligence for Jesus, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. Then you can nicely say, over and above being a Christian, I am a persecuted one. Because now people are conveniently acting like the gifts I once had that they appreciated are not there anymore because I turned to Jesus. They're deliberately acting like my redemption made me stupid, ugly, untalented, and took away all my skills. Because of the way that they just walk right by it. They were historically not able to just walk right by my intelligence. Especially my intelligence. They were historically unable to do it. I got opportunities upon opportunities. I grew quickly. And now they're just like, whatever. And what's worse is that men are acting as if though I don't surpass them all. It's really getting the best of me and it's making me feel like I'm wasting time. I want to go home. I'm in angst. I want to go home. I just want to go back to heaven. So the disregard of my person, my intelligence, the fact that I am also such a good girl. So I don't drink, I don't smoke, I keep myself in a bunch. I'm not sleeping around all over the show. I'm not juggling people's emotions. Like, yeah, I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. In a very earthly sense, there is no one that does good, no, not one, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, right? So I'm only good insofar as you're looking at an earthly barometer. I am basically every parent's dream come true worth of a child. Hey, I always do what is right. Every one of my ducks are in a row. I don't do drugs. I don't glare. I'm a good girl. I am a good girl. By world standards. Because by heaven's standards, I have a lot of work that needs to be done. And yet, despite being such a good girl, who's so intelligent, so put together, so dignified, my friends and my family members act like I am the scum of the earth. Never mind the scum of the earth, but they treat me like a derelict. You know, a derelict. You know, like a child that everybody has just thrown in the towel on. Everybody has given up. Like, people are tired of the misdemeanors, the, you know, indiscretions of this kid, because they keep on selling their mamas like scatter cushions to buy drugs. And so even though there were many a staged intervention in the past on behalf of this kid, the family has just given up. I get, oh guys, it's so painful to even think about it. I get treated like that by everyone that's ever known me. I get treated by friends and family, especially family now, because I don't have any of my friends in my life anymore. They are history, basically. And they've done that to themselves. I didn't kick them out. They kicked themselves out. As soon as I came to Christ, they passed me shade. So, for my own mother, who knows how gifted I am, and my own father, and my sisters, and my whole family extended, so cousins and uncles, relatives, for them to act like that girl that was very thriving once upon a time with a strong career, and of course she was so intelligent that opportunities just kept on like getting thrown at her feet. They're trying to act like that girl is a derelict. Like, I have a history of being mad respected by my family because I was I was so good at what I did. I was successful. I was very successful. Like, I was an academic. I was everything, you know? Like that girl that every mama wants to have as their daughter. That's what I was. So my uncle, proud. Aunt, proud of me. Like, sister used to take me very seriously. My sister's also an academic. We would have academic conversations. And people asked me for help when they needed things done because I was so good at what I did. And now today, the same people. I also, by the way, grew like really quickly above, like faster even, than some of my older cousins in my career. The way I was just so skilled. I was such a genius, basically, at what jobs. Like, I was good. I was really good. So I got respected once for, oh God, what are you doing now? What's your career now? Hey, what promotion did you get now? Like, I was that girl. I grew so fast that people would ask me every time they saw me, so what have you done now? What's next? What's new? What new amazing thing have you done? The same people are acting as if though, if they were to recommend me or refer me to their corporations, that upon going into an interview, I would embarrass them. Like, you know, when you give a reference of somebody, and then just in good faith, because they trust you. They're like, okay, look, I don't know, I'm not sure about her CV, but I'll see her because you appear to be very taken by this woman's skills. So I'll give her a shot, even though her CV looks a little bit scant for me, for my liking. And then they interview you. And they're like, whoa, I see where you're coming from. We'll take her on board. My relatives, my family members especially, they're acting as if though if they were to recommend me, refer me to their organizations for revival of my career, a job, that I would embarrass them. That I would go into, like, currently I've got this yawning gap in my CV. It's 8 years big. Ever since losing my job at MTN because of all the corruption that has slipped my life, I have never found a job again. It's weird, it's witchcraft, it's ridiculous, it's also God's plan, so I'm trusting him in that regard. With a massive gap like that in my CV, and it's only gotten big like this because my family members have let it. There was a time when I was only unemployed for a year. Only 2 years. And then it became 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now it's looking like I'm irrevocably unemployed. So my family members all throughout those intervals, milestones, they could have, after a year, 2, 3 years of being unemployed, been like, Garaba's been unemployed for too long. I've got family members that are across corporate South Africa, guys, and in pretty lofty positions. They are not working entry-level jobs. They're managers, they're bosses, they're executives. My mom is an executive. Oh goodness, it's so sad just to say that. My mother is an executive, by the way, just putting that out there. She's a human resources executive. That's my mom. So those are the kinds of levels of careers that my relatives have. My older sister is a master's graduate from Harvard University, and she's got contacts across the world, never mind country, of people that could easily be like, I'll pull in a favor for your sister. I could work anywhere in this world because of my sister. never mind in South Africa alone. And despite having those kinds of connections, they have watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years progress, with me groveling, grinding, struggling to push my own agenda, applying myself for jobs. When I apply for jobs, all they see is this yawning gap in my CV. Without a referral, I am empty, I'm hollow. They just look at me like I'm some irresponsible miscreant. My family members have got an ability to explain to them what in the world is going on. They can explain that, no, my daughter, she lost her job in 2000 and whatnot, and in 2014, and I mean, really, like, she struggled ever since then, but goodness, the woman needs a job. She's getting older, and like, it's really uncomfortable to watch her. Just give her a chance. Like, only interview her. You'll see. She's very smart. They could have pulled any such strings for me. Not only in my immediate family, but also my extended family. I did let you guys know that even my dad, despite his own barren life, had a friend that was a CEO that wanted to help me because he referred me, but then he went and told this man that don't even pay attention to her, she's not worth your while, and so the guy dropped me. I would have been employed today by that guy. He was even thinking of putting me in a London branch of his organization. So I was going to move to the UK. Everybody knows that I want to go to the UK, right? Like, to live there permanently, because I want to leave South Africa. So I would have, like, found myself there through that man. Instead, I'm here. I'm in this position. My very strong, materially strong, as well as professionally strong family members have watched me struggle to get work again. Get ignored. Watch the gap in my CV get larger and larger and larger and larger. And so therefore the underestimation of my person by South African recruitment agencies and South African organizations, such that now my dreams of ever going back to corporate and carrying on from where I left off are completely shattered. My career is lost for good. There's no going back. If I'm going to find myself back in corporate again, it will have to be my own corporate. I'd have to pretty much be running my own Fortune 500 company or whatever. That's the only way that I would ever find myself back in corporate again. Or if my YouTube channel grows. And no, I'm not that kind of YouTuber, so as to do brand deals with organizations, and so therefore Nike wants to sponsor me. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. I'm a Christian YouTuber, so they're not going to be interested in me for that. But that's the only way that I would find myself inside an organization in a boardroom talking to people. Perhaps if I was an influencer, I could get that done. But otherwise, I'm done. Like, corporate is done with me. I'm not even done with it. It's done with me. I was born for it, but it kicked me out. And all of my family members that could have recommended me very flatly chose not to. They chose not to. My own mom is an executive, okay? Like, y'all need to understand it's that bad. It's literally that bad. Nobody wants to help me now. If you've been listening to me up to this point, then I bet you are likely kind of nodding your head to agree, at least at a minimum, whether or not you agree with other things, that I am smart. I'm the kind of person that if at all I were to be heard in an interview, I would likely be shortlisted and make the cut. I would be the girl. I would be the chosen one. My unemployment is unacceptable. It's strange. It's eerie. It's inappropriate. And it doesn't make sense. For me to be sitting on 0 rands and inability to buy something so basic as tampons for myself. I have to ask for everything roll on. I have to use that which is already used by other people. I had to teach myself how to do my own hair because I couldn't afford to go to a stylist. At 37, with this level of intelligence, with this level of skilledness, with this level of giftedness, with this level of a suite of talents basically to offer, with this level of knowledge and understanding and education as well. I'm quite educated over and above being naturally intelligent. I'm also rich with content. I've got information in my mind. I've been educated. For someone like that to be unemployed for as long as I've been unemployed, despite having stayed relevant and abreast of affairs in my unemployment because I've continued to study, I've continued to learn. For me to be unemployed is wholly unacceptable and obviously the result of some incredible insidious jealousy. My relatives therefore act around me like I am not a travesty walking around. Some of them don't even talk to me. They just walk right by me. Some of them can't even look me in the eye. They look on the floor when they greet me because they know that they're wasting a lot of talent. They're wasting a life. And they act like when I speak, I don't command attention. They act as if though the projection of my voice is not enough to grasp the attention, even if at all he was in the room of the president of the country. They act as if though the topics that I discuss or I address are not worth the while to be considered as haughty matters, weighty. They act as if though I'm not relevant or I'm fluffy. Perhaps I might be well-spoken, but I'm speaking about like drat. No, I'm speaking about relevant topics, important matters that the human race ought consider very deeply. They look away when I open my mouth and speak because they can tell that they're ignoring an intelligent woman. And then when they see me walk around, I'm still kind of slender, I look good, I take care of my body, I work out, I am somewhat still beautiful on the face. They also ignore the fact that a woman like that is also just a ravenous travesty walking around to not even be getting looked at favorably by any men. I am looked at like I am some ugly woman that is unattractive entirely to a man, that lacks character and has nothing to bring to the table. And unfortunately, men also are happy to act as if though that's true, and I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know what's happening there. So when they talk to each other about life generally, whatever it is that they're on the phone with one another, I grieve. I do not like, I live such an isolated, ostracized life by myself that I've gotten used to solitude. I've gotten used to being by myself with no one. And every time I go out and I listen to their conversations in particular, because I know them, it grieves me to understand that they're just carrying on as normal. When they are on the phone with each other, the things that they talk about, it's like, how can you be so casual when somebody in your midst is dying in front of your eyes? And the things they also speak about are so hypocritical. They make commentary about things that they're doing to me as if though they are disgusting when other people do them. And I barely ever am privy to their conversations because I always walk out of the room when they're talking. I don't listen to them on the phone when they're there. I literally lock myself in this room because it's the only place where the noise of a pretentious world that is happy to sit inside bra jail is extracted. This environment, this room that I am in, the small little shack that I come and I record from, is the only place where I can escape the pretentiousness of the human race, especially my family members. But every so often I am forced to be in a car with them for a 40-minute trip. Every so often I am forced to sit in a room with them for a half-an-hour conversation with other people, and that's when I just want to cry. I said that earlier. Tears were all over my eyes, or I was emotional. And I kept on swallowing my tears because who cares? You know, no one cares about anything. No one cares about my intelligence, and they also don't care when I cry. I am living with a whole bunch of sadists. So whenever I get all teary-eyed and emotional, like I swallow my tears. I swallow them. They come out just here at the corner and I wipe them off. Drip down here, wipe it off. I swallow my tears. That is just like literally the constitution of my life. So today, because you know how my mother said to me, we're going to see your dad finally. I was in somewhat okayish spirits. I was given something to do during a power cut, so I was happy to go. And then we got in my mom's car and she got on the phone with my cousin, and everything just went downhill from there. Everything just fell apart. Everything just got decimated. My mood tanked. Because there is nothing more grating for me than listening to my mother speak to people on the phone about things that she is a hypocrite in, and also the disregard of what I'm going through. Just a flagrant, blatant disregard. I don't know how they're able to just carry on with life as normal and act as if though mine is not in danger. They act as if though my life is not actively in danger right now as I speak. Like, it's so painful, guys. Like, it is so heartbreaking. So my cousin and my mom were talking about some dude that found himself homeless one day, uncomfortably so, because of things that happened in his life. One thing after the other, and then next thing he was living on the street. He lost a job one day, And then next thing, he was living on the street. And there's apparently a dude on Instagram that is a homeless man. I don't even know why he's still homeless. I don't know why he doesn't start a YouTube channel and monetize and get himself out of there. But anyway, whatever. You know, some people, when they're poor, they stay poor. And sometimes they lose their minds. But they were talking about a man who is basically very popular on Instagram, but he doesn't have a home. However, he has a history of having his own home, his own life, cars and everything. But he's living on the street now. And his story happened in a way where one day he lost a job and just could not get one again. And my mother and my cousin were speaking about this on the phone. And my mom was busy saying to my cousin, hey, Mara, wait, I wonder what happened for this man to get there. And then my cousin was like, yeah, no, you know, sometimes these things happen where one day they lose a job and they never get it again. Next thing they find themselves homeless. And then my mom was like, shame, but it's such a pity. It's such a pity. I wonder why he doesn't just get his life together or get help or something. And my answer in my heart was, it's because of people like you. Here it is that my mom and my cousin were speaking about a man that had a whole thriving life and a career once, that is very popular on Instagram, a South African man. And now he's living on the street. And they are like, wonder how a person gets there. And I'm like, I was working. I was thriving. I had a career. I had my own apartments. I had a beautiful future looking ahead at me. And then one day a bunch of corrupt people rocked up and caused me to lose my job. And you were among them. You then refused to repent and apologize for what it is that you did to me. And so because of what it is that I stood to gain from gaining vindication against my enemies, you saw it fit to thwart me because you were involved. Your grubby hands got involved in destroying my future. And so because you don't want to be embarrassed as a mother, you then literally abandoned me. You despised me for being right when you were wrong. And so you deliberately did everything in your power to keep me poor. You made sure I couldn't get a job again. You tried to force me to go and scan groceries at the Woolworths and at the Pick and Pay with my level of credentials and skills. Even though you have no other child that has to do that. You have a daughter that is a Harvard graduate. You have got another daughter that is a spoiled brat running around doing whatever she wants. She's comfortable and she drives your big fat executive vehicle every time out here in these streets of Johannesburg whenever she wants. And then you want to go and grab your middle daughter who is super gifted and intelligent and talented, and you want to make her go and scan groceries at the local Pick and Pay when she used to be a program manager for one of the biggest telecommunications companies in South Africa. And you want to go and take a woman with those kinds of brains and put her there doing that. And you have made her hustle and grind and tried to get, like, you've made her go out of her way to try and see if she can't get her life back together by some other way, because it'll be a cold day in hell when I am going to be found scanning groceries at the Pick and Pay when I come from where I come from, because my enemies who brought me low despite my innocence are going to laugh at me. And I'm pretty certain that's not what Christ wants, because he will not allow us to be put to shame or condemned when brought to trial. You want to humiliate me as a mother, even though you're an executive of an organization and you can pull strings across this country. My sister can pull strings across the world. And I am the only one struggling to get bread. I'm the only one of your daughters that can't buy her own tampons. I'm the only one of your daughters that can't buy her own ingredients to make her protein shakes. I'm the only one of your daughters that can't afford gym membership. I'm the only one of your daughters. Literally, I am a travesty walking around. And the only reason I am not homeless is because you have let me stay in your house. Thank God then, I guess, that I'm a woman, because women tend to be allowed to just kind of, hang on to family members that'll let them stay. But if I was a man, I might have actually known what it's like to live on the street. I might have actually known what it's like to sleep on a park bench. I might have actually known what it's like to sleep in the bathroom of a bus terminal. I might have known what it's like to spend months on the street and therefore get treated, like literally have money thrown at my feet as I sleep there by passerbys. I am no different from that guy on Instagram. Only difference is that I'm a woman, and secondly, the fact that my family members are happy to accommodate me living in a shack at the back of their houses. That's why I'm not on the street. There was a time when I was sleeping in my vehicle for 3 days at Wits University, having nowhere to go. I had to grovel and beg to come back home. My mother made me homeless. Only reason I'm here is because I've had to humble myself to a bunch of ravenous wolves. She took her own daughter and threw her away. That was the conversation with my cousin. The first one. It gets worse. Like, hang 10, go grab yourself some popcorn. It gets worse. It gets worse. Listening to her and my cousin speaking, it just broke my heart so much, because I was like, how in the world are you not able to see? How in the world under heaven are you not able to see your contribution to that homeless man on Instagram that you are both talking about? Because that homeless man is a homeless man away from them, and he's on Instagram and they don't know him. They don't think that that man is me. I remember just thinking in my mind, I am homeless right now because of you. That man, if he had family members that were happy to aid him along, if his friends did not turn his back on him, if those that were jealous of him at the time when his career was thriving did not make a decision to take jealousy, run with it until he was homeless, he would not have found himself in this position. It's written in God's word that anger is overwhelming and fury is a flood, but who can stand before jealousy? Because of jealousy, you watch people lose their homes. No, not homes, sorry. You watch them lose their jobs today, despite being very skilled on their curriculum vitae. And then because they struggle to get a job after 5 months, their houses get foreclosed. And then with whatever savings they have, they live in a hotel. My cousin spoke about how it is that guy got kicked out of the hotel that he was staying in because he wasn't paying for it anymore. So this man finds himself living in a bed and breakfast or whatever. And he gets kicked out because your payment is due. Like, no one lives here for free. And that's how the guy finds himself living on the street. Tries to apply for a homeless shelter, but they are all clogged up and closed, especially considering it's winter. So the guy sleeps in a stadium. A man that had his own comfortable bed and water to drink, clean water, a bath to use, kids that even call him daddy, is now living on the street. It gets there. That's how it gets there. It's because family members and friends are so jealous that they are prepared to watch, rather than let them get their lives back together again. A person that was thriving, had a very successful thing going once upon a time, they are prepared to watch them get foreclosed on. My mom watched me lose my apartments. I nearly lost my furniture if I didn't grovel and beg for somebody to pay for storage of my furniture item. Family members of mine went and stole some of my furniture from out of storage where it was at. I have lost clothing. I don't even know why. When I used to have a wardrobe packed with clothes, I'm struggling to get clothes today. I don't know what happened to them. They got stolen from out of storage. I lost a car. I had 2 cars. My Mazda outside that's parked, that's stuck right now, having not gotten a full service. I had bought for myself an Isuzu Bucky because I wanted to start some kind of a business. Like what do they call it? It's a truck, a van. Yeah, a truck, a van. Not a regular, but like a business vehicle. I bought it because I was so sick and tired as well when I was moving house that I would have to pay these exorbitant fees for moving companies to move my furniture from one place to another. So I bought that Bucky as well for the family, so that if we want to move, if we want to do things, if we want to make trips where we have to carry big things out at the back of some kind of a vehicle, instead of hiring people that have trucks or companies that are in the business of trucking such things around, we have my vehicle. Because I was made to live with my dad for a season at a retirement village, that truck got stuck on battery, and I could not move it because I didn't have money to buy battery, nothing. They got it towed, and I don't know where my truck is to this day. Literally, I have had an entire vehicle stolen from me, and I couldn't even report it to the police because my family members were involved in making it disappear. That's what I've had to go through. So they watch you lose your house that you've been paying mortgage on for 10 years. You're left with only 3, and they will let you lose it. They will let you get your car repossessed. Even though you have got 1 year to pay it off, you've already done 4 years. And they will watch the bank repossess your car. They will watch you lose your clothes. They will watch your upset landlord throw your furniture out at your eviction or get it auctioned. They will literally watch your house get auctioned when they could do something to help you along. I'm so grateful to this day that I never bought a house, guys. I did not go to the bank to apply for a home loan because I would have, guys, I'm even emotional thinking about it. If at all, I was en route trying to buy a house, but I was renting at the time. So the homes I lost were not really mine. They were rentals, and I'd only paid rent for the month. Somebody else owned them. But I was thinking very strongly about buying a house buying a property. I'm grateful that I never did. Because if I had bought a house, I would have lost it. Guys, I would have paid mortgage on that house for a year, 2 years, and then had somebody decide that, you know what, the bank is going to take it. I would have lost the house. They watched me get listed on the credit bureau for debts I had that I couldn't pay because I wasn't employed anymore. I am listed right now on the credit bureau in South Africa because of that. My family did that. My cousin works for a company in the financial services industry where they also have program and project managers. My goodness, guys, across the fields that I have worked in, where I have gathered for myself experience, I've worked in finance, I've worked in telecommunications, I've worked in IT, I've worked in so many industries that any of my relatives who belong to any of these industries could have pulled a string for me here and there, gotten me an interview. Really, you don't even have to get me the job. You just need to get me heard by someone. Like, get me an interview with some dude that is looking for project managers, and I would have been prepared to downgrade. Like, I was a program manager when I lost my job. I was happy to downsize to project management and then build my way up again. Anybody at all looking for project managers, goodness gracious, new department is getting built. We need management consultants. I need only just an interview and I will convince this person why I still make sense. I know that there's a gap of 3 years in my CV, but I will convince somebody that that gap is not relevant. I haven't rusted. None of my family members agreed to help me out in that regard because they were jealous. I grew so fervently, so fast, and I was successful even above them that they were like, I'm not about to let Karabo, I'm not going to watch her again make me feel envious. I lost a job and people lost their minds. So they watched me lose everything. They stole my car, they stole my clothes, some items of my furniture. They watched me lose houses. They watched my furniture get devastated by constant moving. And now I'm living at the back of my mother's house, and every so often they come to this property to visit my mom, and they know that I'm living in absolute squalor, and they just walk around me and say, hi Karabo, how are you? Like, no one even asks me anymore, what do you do? So what are you doing with your life? Like, because they know that I'm doing nothing and that there's no way I can go. So when I am thriving as I'm thriving, working as I'm working, as hard as I am, and when as focused as I am for YouTube, it's because it's literally my only hope. I never intended to use my gifts and talents and my gospel mission to make money. But now it's all I have. This testimony of mine, I am hoping to grow my YouTube channel so that I can monetize and so earn ad revenue, and so therefore be able to pay my life ahead, be able to buy those tampons, be able to buy skincare cream, see a dermatologist, see an optometrist. I'm looking for those glasses of mine. I have an issue with eyesight. These are my glasses held together with sticky tape. I don't have a pair. While my mother walks around with like 3 or 4 pairs of prescription glasses that she keeps on throwing to the side each new year when she gets a new prescription from her doctor. She could give me one of her glasses, and I've asked her before and she said no. And I could put my prescription lens in it and she pay for it. They refuse, guys. My Armani's, that's what they look like now today. This is how I watch TV. I put them around my YouTube, my Mac, my ears. They've watched me lose all that. My mother watched my skin break out because I was no longer able to see a dermatologist. Instead of paying for the appointment, she just watched me struggle, like with this acne, all this on my face. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. I have no access to medical care, nothing. They just watched everything of mine fall off. So when she and my cousin were having that conversation about the poor man that was kicked out of a hotel that is very popular on Instagram, and wondering how in the world they got there, I was crying. I was crying. I'm car sick, right? So when a person starts to drive, I start to get all squeamish. Future husband, that's a thing now. So it's not like I'm bored with you or whatever. I am only okay in a car if I'm driving it, right? Otherwise, I get really car sick. I get really like I don't think I have general motion sickness because I think I can do ships like boats, and I can also do larger vehicles like buses and taxis. But a car, for whatever reason, whenever I'm in there, after a couple of minutes of driving, I start to get squeamish. So anybody at all that's been with me in cars, they will know that I lie down. I recline the chair and I lie down. So my mother was driving en route to go see my dad, and I got car sick. So my mother knows that I'm car sick, so I reclined my chair and I laid down. It makes it better. It makes it go away. So because I was reclined, I allowed some of my tears to come out. Otherwise, if I was still sitting up, I would have just swallowed them. I just listened to this conversation that was on speakerphone. That's how I could also hear my cousin speaking. And I was like, but I'm a hobo now. I'm basically homeless. I'm homeless because you guys did this to me. How in the world are you not able to see yourselves in the travesty that slapped the man on Instagram? He is me and I am him because he has relatives like you. Everybody comes from somewhere. Everybody has some woman that gave birth to them. And even though they might have not have been raised by their own biological parents, they have a community around them. Most kids have, if not all kids, if at all they're not severely abused, have got some kind of community around them. It is that community that is responsible for leaving people homeless. Just this whole, whatever, you are your brother's keeper. It's clear. But no, Cain kills Abel because the sacrifice of Cain is just unconscionable for Cain to walk in. He can't even comprehend it. For him, it's like, whatever, no, it's too much work. So he does indeed unconscionable things to Abel, his brother. And then you go on and respond to God when God asks you, where's Karabo? What's going on with my daughter? Like, why have you left her barren, unemployed, and destitute like this? You've abandoned her. You've dished her to be eaten by the sharks. And then the response of my mom is, am I my brother's keeper? Am I Karabo's keeper? Please, no, she's got her own life. She uses the excuse that I'm a grown woman, that I'm in my 30s, that she doesn't owe me anything. You shattered me. And on top of that, you're my mom. You should care for me all the way up until the end of your life. I am in sorrow. A lot of it. I'm in so much pain, guys. I can't even explain it to you every day. I'm in so much pain. So much. My goodness, my words are not sufficient to help you thoroughly comprehend just how bad the situation is. Because I have to sit in this. What's paining me is that they're hypocrites. But what's especially poignant in my pain is that I fear that they don't realize they're hypocrites. If my mom could have a conversation on loudspeaker with my cousin about a homeless man whose stats sound similar to mine and not be able to recognize the inappropriateness of speaking about that man in my presence, it says that they don't feel like it is a trigger for me. It says that they're insensitive. It says that they don't know that that's what's going on with my life. And for them to not be aware that they have made me homeless is for me to basically sit where I'm sitting thinking, if these people don't think I'm homeless, then they're not going to feel a need to come and rescue me from the streets. They don't think they are those hypocrites. Otherwise, why would they speak like that in front of me? They see nothing wrong. Their eyes are closed. They're shut. That's why I am working like a dog to try and get my YouTube ministry as high quality as possible. I bet you've noticed recently that even the quality of my videos has improved. I found a setting in my phone that fixed it all. And I stopped using the background of my Mac because I think it also reduced the quality of my videos. So now my videos are coming with better clarity. The graininess in the background is no longer there. I'm working to get myself heard by fixing aesthetic things, like brushing things so that people can linger onto my content, that they might not be distracted by the noisy nature of the graininess of the video, because that might just overwhelm my voice, the fact that it's so low quality. So I am trying to bring higher quality videos, having found the setting on my phone that I wish I had found all that long ago already. And while they might take longer to publish on my iMovie, it doesn't matter because then it's better quality. And then people will linger, they will subscribe, they will like. So I can build for myself a new career that I did not intend to start. My blog, my WordPress account, the one where I write, it was a hobby. I did it in order to give the gospel, the love of God in me that was fostered, made me want to reach people for Christ. So I started a WordPress account to write about Jesus. I never intended to monetize. I never intended to make money or add revenue from the gospel. I just wanted to share the gospel because I had my own 9 to 5. Now, it's the only hope I have. And there is no going back to corporate. There's nothing else I can do, don't you see? They're trying to force me to go and scan groceries at the Pick and Pay with this level of intelligence. I have no other choice but to start a business. I tried to start some other business. I tried to do hair products. My goodness. I tried to do skin products like skincare. Went through some little tiny 101 esthetician course to deal with skin. I tried. But those kinds of businesses need capital. Literally, YouTube is my only way out. Or these media platforms, online means of making money. My WordPress account, I realized that I could monetize if I wanted, but I need to pay 3,000 rands, 3.5 or something. It's per annum, it's in dollars. I think it's like $200 or something, $219 in order to buy a domain so it's your own account as opposed to the WordPress account. My WordPress account, if you look at the name of it, it's Cranberry Chronicles at WordPress, like the like /@WordPress /WordPress.com. To buy the domain is to make it Cranberry Chronicles, mine, and only then, and even then with a platinum account only. Only then can I apply for Google AdSense in order to get ad revenue that every single time I publish a post on my blog, I actually get paid money for it from ad revenue. I've got such a beautiful blog. I've got such a beautiful WordPress account, like a written ministry, and I've been doing this since 2015. It's 2022. Like 10 years. Pretty much ever since I came to Christ in 2011. No, 12. I've been doing this since 2012. I came to Christ since 2012. Yes, 11 years. 10. No, I have had my account, my WordPress account, my website. I've had it for 10 years. Writing about Jesus. WordPress decided, because my account is not private, it's not my own. It's WordPress's domain. So when they do cleanup, every so often they archive and take away forever my old content. So now my content only goes back, even though I started it in 2012, it only goes as far back as 2015. And that's freaking me out, because I'm tired of losing all of my creative work. And so the only way to make sure that WordPress does not decide to just sweep things out and archive and delete forever some of my content is to buy the domain. Buy the domain. And if I buy the domain, I can apply for Google AdSense and so earn revenue on anybody all that clicks on my content. The traffic on my WordPress account, anybody that looks at my page, every time I publish, I get paid ad revenue in dollars. So transferring it into rands is quite like it balloons. I mean, I told you that it was $219. That's about 3,500 rands, guys. It's so much. Dollar rand exchange, right? So it's a lot of money for me to buy the domain, but it's also a lot of money for me, given that I'm getting paid in dollars then. So even if they give me like $5 for somebody that clicked on my page once, $5 is 5 times 14, because that's the dollar rand exchange more or less right now that's going on with South Africa. And with Cyril Ramaphosa's indiscretions and money in couches, it might even drop further. Meaning that any of my online presences that can earn me dollars have got power to get me out of this obscurity fast, because it's in dollars, converted then of course into rands. So I don't even have to have a lot of traffic on WordPress to make decent money, precisely because I'm in South Africa. And I also don't have to have too many subscribers on YouTube to make decent money to have my own apartment. But my channel is going nowhere. It's not moving. WordPress is the one that pains me the most, because I could actually be making money now. I just don't have that 3,500 rand to buy the domain. I wish I had bought it when I was still employed. If I was clever then, I would have already been making money on the side. I would have probably even ended up quitting my job to write full-time upon realizing how lucrative it can be. Because I love writing, it's my thing, and I wasn't even that big a fan of my job anyway, but it paid the bills. So writing, given that it is like the be-all and end-all of my most beloved sport, I would have probably quit my job to write. I would have become an author full-time. But, like I said, I wasn't clever. I didn't know back then that buying a domain would mean that for me. I just wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote really good work. My WordPress account is more popular than any of my other platforms because it's been around for the longest time, and it's got a whole bunch of academics. There are people who love to read a lot instead of watching funny little videos on YouTube or TikTok. So my audience there, I really appreciate it. I really, really do. And they communicate with each other on Twitter. So I get a lot of followers on my WordPress account because of, sharing my content on Twitter and vice versa. So it likely is going to be my first stream of income. The moment I find the smallest amount of money, like if I can find that 4,000, let's round it off to the nearest 1,000. If I can just find that $4,000, I will start to make money comfortably on my WordPress account. And because I love to write more than I love to even do these speeches, these onerous ones on YouTube, I will probably, post less videos on YouTube and do more writing every day. There was a time recently when I was writing every day and doing these videos. Guys, I do so much work with no reward. But there is a cash cow that is sitting dormant right now, and the only thing that's that's standing in the way of me and it is just like funding. I need someone to fund my domain purchase, Platinum Vibes, on WordPress so that I can buy my domain and start to earn ad revenue. Then on that day I'll be relieved. Really, that bra strap, that bra gel, I'll be given, never mind the bra strap, but the getting out of the water. I've been holding my breath underwater. The thing that might get me to stop holding my breath underwater is what do you call this? The dinghy, okay, the rubber ducky in the ocean that is life-sized, that is human-sized, is funding of my WordPress domain purchase. But I found that out only recently. Only, like, I promise you, like, I had a man in my life, the prodigal son that I'm going to be talking about very shortly, right now, that funded my, my vehicle service. In total, that man gave me enough money, and that money I used it for, like, my ministry and like, I bought lights and whatnot, things that I needed, because this environment was dingy, dark, it was not recording, I need to build my stuff. I bought it for things that were relevant, right? But that's because I did not know at the time, when I was busy, I was being given money by a man that was my man. He wasn't a boyfriend, he was a fiance. Things went awry. Anyway, this man is not in my life anymore, okay? But what he did for me, when I found out that I could monetize my WordPress account, I remember just like feeling like I wish I could, like, shoot my toe or something. Because instead of service my car, and instead of buying these lights, I could have bought my domain, and today I'd be earning monthly some kind of a salary from WordPress, from simply publishing work and just ad revenue that is coming in because of these ads that keep on flowing from old traffic even on my website. It's passive income. My WordPress account, thank you, that's what they call it. My WordPress account is passive income, because every time I open my WordPress account, there's a new person that has followed me. There is a new person that has liked some post that I uploaded from 2 years ago. There's a new person. Like, it's passive income. And every time there's any kind of traffic in a place where there is an ad on WordPress, money comes to me. So I have got a stream of passive income sitting in WordPress that I am today basically hitting myself in the head for not having known about it when somebody rocked up in my life before he kind of went awry on me, and funded certain of my lifestyle. I would have bought a domain instead of service my car or do anything else, and then I would today not be struggling with the prospect of not being able to purchase tampons again. But anyway, I have slightly digressed because I can be loquacious. The situation in my vehicle, right, in my mom's vehicle today, it just it just made me long evermore for my YouTube to grow, for me to get funded so that I can start to find streams of income and build my business. I still have a desire to do hair products, but I need to fund them. I need to fund that particular stream of income. That business area. I still want to do all that which I've been wanting to do. So if I can monetize my WordPress account, I would then perhaps be able to gradually start my hair care line that I will market my own way on YouTube or wherever. I will start an online shop, an online store for myself. I will buy the ingredients I need to preserve my stuff. I will do all that stuff. But in order for me to do an online store, do this, all that, just like literally, I need startup capital. However, there is a place that is going to give me passive income that's going to make sure that startup capital just comes my way, and I can then have an online store for hair products. I wanted to make clothes, fashion design, guys, so many things I want to do, so many things that I can market right here in my YouTube channel alongside my WordPress account everywhere that I just cannot do. My ultimate goal and dream in life has been to fund the gospel with business money. I wanted to start a hair brand, a fashion design brand, clothing label. I wanted to do a consultancy firm for my skills, my professional skills, all that jazz. And the proceeds of my business, I would take some of them and fund gospel ministry. I did not want to monetize my Christian channel. One of the biggest reasons why I don't even want to monetize my Christian channel is because Christian topics can be so taboo that YouTube just keeps on putting strikes on them. So I will be forced to be seeker sensitive or not talk about certain things even if I want to talk about them, if at all YouTube feels like it's a taboo. And what do they call that thing? Misrepresentation? No, not misrepresentation, but misinformation, whatever. So that's why ministry. I don't want to monetize ministry because it's just going to drive me into the insanity of watching what I say when things of God are very taboo, so they must be spoken. but I cannot right now speak about things I want to speak about. I've been wanting to cover end times prophecy. I've been wanting to cover world events. And if at all you're also going to cover world events, you need to use clips from the news and all that jazz, meaning that you can't monetize that particular video. And so you would need to rely on some other source of income for yourself to get ahead. I can't do what I want to do with ministry because I need to make money right now. So my YouTube channel is likely not even going to stay monetized. Unless, of course, it's a YouTube, because I've got plans to do a YouTube channel for fitness that can be monetized. I also have plans to do a YouTube channel because I'm fit. I am, believe it or not. I want to do a fitness YouTube channel as soon as I can get to the gym. But I already have built my own body, but I can't carry on dancing because it doesn't honor God, right? YouTube channel for fitness. And I also wanted to do a YouTube channel for cooking, culinary, like chef work, pastry stuff. I wanted to do that. Those two channels can be monetized because that's an honest stream of income that has nothing to do with the gospel. Of course, I would likely put scriptures here and there in the top just to motivate people, but my Christian ministry, that is something I don't want to monetize. But right now, that's the only thing I can do right now to try and grow my channel to a point of monetization, because I can't start my cooking channel. I don't have a kitchen. I don't have ABC. I also cannot start my fitness channel because I cannot buy equipment. I can't show people how to train themselves up. Christians, I'm trying to be motivating to believers, to help them find non-sensual ways of exercising and doing a fitness channel, a fitness whatnot, to show like improvement of your body and whatnot without having to show all of that skin, to show what the Lord has done for you. I've got plans. You get my point. There are many ways in which I intend to make money in the future, but most of them need startup capital. And that's why I want to grow my YouTube channel and monetize it. It's not that I want to make money from ministry. It's that it's a stepping stone. That's what must be understood. Making money from ministry makes people crazy sometimes, and it makes them seeker sensitive, and it makes them not want to say the right things that they need to say on their channels because YouTube is full of striking stuff down. I don't want to have to deal with that in the future. Oh goodness, guys, I can be so loquacious, but I'm getting eventually to the point right now. So with all of these endeavors of mine, the desires anyway that I've got, I get more desperate and I feel more sick in my spirit and in my gut when I'm not getting around fast enough to getting them done. When I listen to my mom and my cousin speak the rubbish that they were speaking today without noticing that I'm in trouble. I have no other hope but my own ingenuity in trying to foster a stream of income for myself. And my family members are narrow-minded and they're singularly minded, and so therefore they think corporate is my only hope, and so they basically believe it's over for me. Imagine your own mom looking at her own child like it's over for her. Hey, are you feeling reached by my content on YouTube? If so, you might be interested in checking out my tweets as well, alongside reading my content on my WordPress account, alongside checking out my shorts on TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Please enjoy the next coming content. Bye. My mother went to find comfort after breaking my life, shattering it, in this friend of hers. Speaking to this friend of hers like I and her son are birds of a feather. I lost my job because of Christian persecution, and my mother put me in the same bucket as a derelict junkie that squandered his future from the time he was a teenage boy. The pain in my heart upon understanding that my mother is busy trying to relate or find solace or comfort about my situation with this particular friend, knowing her son, the pain, guys, yo. You know when you get clumped with fallen, decrepit, debilitated souls that are in that position because they ruined themselves, but you're in that position because people ruined you. You're the innocent one. It's like being in prison as an innocent person and you tell your inmate, I'm innocent, and your inmate laughs at you on some, yeah, we all are.
Don't forget to like,